So this is the D.I.D.I Initiative Island. D.I.D.I stands for Dream It, Do It, and my name is Sally Shapiro. I work with an organization called Youth Venture, which promotes youth-led social change. So outside of Teen Second Life, Youth Venture works in 14 countries to support teams of youth to start their own businesses or organizations that benefit their communities. And so we've partnered with Global Kids to bring this program into Teen Second Life as the D.I.D.I Initiative. D.I.D.I engages Teen Second Life residents in a series of workshops where they form teams, come up with a project idea, a venture. They create a detailed action plan in the workshops where they budget for their project and they plan how it'll be sustainable, how they'll be able to keep it going. And then they present their idea to a panel of peers and adults, give them feedback. Then once they're ready to launch their ventures, their projects, D.I.D.I provides seed funding to help them cover their startup expenses and ongoing support. Teens actually have the option of creating projects that they carry out within Teen Second Life. It could be a support group in Second Life, it could be an exhibit, or they can use Second Life to plan their projects, which then take place in the real world. So far, most of the teens we've worked with have chosen to start projects in Second Life, although we also work with groups of youth at after-school programs, community organizations, where we bring the teens into Teen Second Life, we teach them the technology, and then support them through the workshops to plan and launch their ventures. And so those teens that we bring in from real-life organizations are more likely to use Teen Second Life to plan their venture and then carry out a project in real life. Yeah, so let me give you a little tour around the island. I'll show you where we do our workshops, and then I'll show you some of the venture projects that have been started, and I can tell you a little about what some of the young people are doing. Go in here, this is the Institute, where we usually start off our workshop. So this is a great space for workshops where we sit around on the cushions and discuss. We usually start by having teens think about issues, identifying issues in their community, problems they see that they would like to change, and then thinking about what they like to do, what their interests are, what their passions are, and then connect those two things, how they can use their interests and their hobbies to bring change to their communities, the change that they want to see. So whether, if they like knitting, how they can use knitting to make a difference, maybe by knitting something and selling it, raising money, or giving the things they've made to people who need it. So that's usually how they go about kind of brainstorming and coming up with their project ideas, and then after that they start planning them. They set goals, they build teams, because in order to receive funding, groups need to be working with at least one other teen. Another important part of a venture is that it's sustainable. So in order to receive the seed funding, they need to have a plan that they've thought through how they're going to keep it going, so it wouldn't be a one-time event. We also have a coffee house on the other side of the island where we hold more informal workshop sessions, and where we also hold the selection panels. We have a resource center, which is like a library with some more resources. I'd like to take you to the Venture Park, which is right next door, where teams are ready to launch their projects. They receive a grant. They receive seed funding to cover their startup expenses. Instead of money, we give them a plot of land they can use on the D.I.D.I Venture Park for 6 months. So one team that we have that recently got started is called Above It. They're a group of teens that wanted to help their peers better understand the effects of drug abuse. They wanted to do it in a way that was fun and engaging for teens and not something that would, seem boring or turn them off. So they've created this hangout space where they hold weekly gatherings. They've got parties. They also have trivia and games. They hand out resources on with information on drugs. Another venture we have here on this park is called Body Rider. They also, like Above It, they wanted to find a way to teach their peers about health in a way that was more fun than how kids learn about health in the classroom. So they decided to create a virtual tour through the human body. So as visitors ride through the body, they'll learn about how their bodies are affected by smoking and drugs, and just learn more about how the body works. But that's a kind of neat example of a way that teens are able to use this virtual space to do something that they wouldn't be able to do in real life. This is the space built by another team called Charity Donators, and they've started a business in Teen Second Life selling items made by a group of volunteers and providing building and scripting services in Teen Second Life. All the profits they're raising from the store and the services go to a charity. So the team decides on a charity to support. After a few months, they'll change it to another charity, but the first charity they're supporting is called Cradles to Crowns, which provides services to low-income and homeless children. This team is very active in the community here. They also help out a lot of other DIDI venture teams with building and other services, which they do for free just to help the community. This is their store, but they're a very dedicated group. They're very excited about what they're doing. They're able to use Teen Second Life to really make a difference. So this is another team that launched recently. They also have a business, create clothing for avatars in Teen Second Life. And the social part of the business is that they are creating t-shirts and bracelets and items that have social messages. For instance, one issue they really wanted to raise awareness about was cyberbullying, and so they're making t-shirts with messages about bullying and why it's a problem. And this team is also collaborating with another team that launched a few months ago. They're over here, called Epidemic, but they also have a hangout with educational meetings on they have support groups to help teens talk about issues that they're going through outside of Second Life. So we have another team that has started a project around the environment. They've built this space. They actually built two spaces to represent you can see as a nice outdoor scene. So these are some of the ventures that have started here on the DIDI Venture Park. Second Life is just such a great space to do this, and of course youth-led, which is what Youth Venture is all about. And so I guess we're here really to help teens think about how they can actually make a difference, to do something that's socially driven. When we do our workshops, and you can kind of see, and light bulb goes off when they start thinking about how they can actually do something and use the skills, things that they love to do, whether it's playing games in Second Life, building and scripting, to really make a difference or to help their peers. They get really excited.